Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video and share it to your friends and your loved ones. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. My name is Obsy and you're welcome to my channel. I'm going to be sharing a question that somebody asked me on Instagram, and it's with regards to medicine, medical degree, public health, what to do after, pros and cons. So I'm just going to read out the question to you guys and probably insert the question on the screen so you guys can see what she asked. So the question goes like this: I plan to pursue a master's degree in public health after my medical degree, but I also want to do a residency. I'm unsure of how it would work. I was also wondering, what are the pros and cons and what would you advise? Basically, this is a very huge question, and that's why I told her I was going to answer this question in the video because it's long. It's really long. So I narrowed it down to like 2 questions for you to be able to, guide yourself. These are the 2 questions you're supposed to ask yourself to be able to start making decisions. So the first one is, where are you from? Basically, so that means, are you from Nigeria? Are you from Africa? Do you need to take exam? Because that will determine like the steps you take into your next phase of life. Do you understand? So where are you from? Do you want to go back home? Do you want to stay here? Do you want to be in Europe? Do you want to go to America? And where you're from would determine the next steps in the different places that you're going to, settle in. So like me, for instance, I'm from Nigeria, and obviously because I'm not an EU citizen, I need to learn a language, or I need to write exams for all the licensing exams, and to be able to secure my stay in wherever I'm going to settle in. So that's the first question: where are you from? Then the next question would be, where do you plan on doing your residency? That's a very huge question, which I feel like is my major problem. For me, it was very difficult to determine where I want to be because I kind of narrowed it down, which is, I know I don't want to be in the US. I only want to be visiting the US. I don't want to live in the US. So that was like ruled out for me. Then I know that because I've already lived in Europe, I'm in Hungary, I've already lived here, so I'm kind of used to the system a bit, and I feel like living in Europe for me, this is my personal opinion, living in Europe for me is like I'm able to explore other European countries. So I have access to other countries if I just decide to stay in one European country. Of course, regards to Schengen or whatever, like I just feel like being in any of the European cities gives me more access to other cities. Like I don't need to get visa, I don't need to do all this long thing, and flying around is not expensive and stuff. So like it would be, for me, I feel like it's more economical and more beneficial for me if I stay in Europe. Now, what part of Europe? So you see how I'm narrowing these questions down. Now, what part of Europe would I want to settle in? Of course, obviously, I'm in Hungary, so I'm in Budapest. So do I want to live here? With regards to how like the standard of living is, I think it's a very nice place to start up your life because things are quite affordable. Like accommodation is much more affordable than any other like European city. You can easily maneuver your way in Budapest, especially because I've already lived here for a very long time. So Budapest is a nice place to start your life if you're able to find something doing, to be honest. But then if not Budapest, if the place is not conducive enough in regards to like job or whatever, where else would I want to go? Well, basically, where do I want to practice? That's where I fall. That's the dilemma I'm in, because I feel like I can live anywhere in Europe. It just depends on what God's will is for my life, to be quite honest, because left to me, I don't really know. I can't really it's a huge decision, and trust me, you're not the only one that is filled with that dilemma. You're not the only one that is as confused as to picking where to live or where to settle in or where to pursue, because each country has their like different rules and regulation in regards to licensing and residency. So it's very important to know where you want to go. That can help you with your next steps. So like these 2 questions: where are you from and where do you want to where do you plan on doing your residency? So basically, where you plan on doing your residency, if you choose to go to Germany, for instance, or you want to go to the UK, obviously they have their different rules and process. So for Germany now, you need to learn the language. With that now, you can now decide, okay, how long is it going to take me to learn the German language? Because learning the language can take you between 6 months to 1 year, because you need to write the B2 exam exam, you need to write the FSP exam. Like, there are language exams that you need to write to be able to get your license. If you want to practice or do your residency in Germany, then you need to plan to learn the language. If you want to do your residency in the UK, then you need to find out the process. And I know that for a fact that you need to write PLAB, you need to write IELTS exam. You need to find out the process for that particular country and then decide the time frame that it will take you to be prepared for that particular country. So for instance, if learning a language is going to take you 1 year, you have to be very realistic with yourself, because for me, like, I know that I'm not really good with languages. So if I have to learn a language, I need all the time, and especially because these exams, you're going to pay for them and you don't want to keep failing and paying for exams. Do you get what I mean? So I would say be realistic with yourself, and then depending on the country you want to go to, examine or evaluate the time frame. If it's up to a year, I would say do your master's degree. So that brings me to the next question. Why do you want to do public health? For me, I did it because I didn't plan to do it. Let me just be honest. I didn't plan to do public health. Not because I could not do it, but I was just afraid. I just felt like public health was hard. I was afraid of the courses that would be in public health. Like, it was just fear of just being in school again and probably failing an exam. Like, that whole, I was scared from medical school, so I didn't want to go through that phase again. So that was my fear of not wanting to do public health. But eventually I had to do it because I had not made plans. It's not because I didn't want to make plans. It was just very difficult for me to know or to decide on where I want to go. And of course, you have to consider funds as well. So I had to discuss with my dad and like, yo, what do you think is the next step? What do you think we should do next? Because at the end of the day, you're the one sponsoring me. So like, is where you're going to put money in that I will go. If you say today that you should come back to Nigeria, do I have an option? Except if I have an option, of course, that one's different. But if I don't have an option, I'll pack my things and go, because I'm not about to be stranded in the middle of nowhere. If you have that time frame of 1 year, then you can decide to, you cannot just sit down and just be doing one thing. For me, I just feel like I can't just be doing one thing. Let's put it this way. You feel like it's going to take you 1 year to learn a language. Now you have to decide, how are you going to learn the language? Are you going to learn the language by yourself on your own? Are you going to be doing online tutorials? Or are you going to go to a language school? So now that's the next step. You're not going to learn it on your own. Then I can say, okay, go to a language school, preferably in Germany, because it's easier for you to be in the country that you're learning the language, because then you can grasp a lot of things faster. So I would say go to a language school. You should always ask people that have done it, their advice and everything. Take away all manner of shame from your system and just ask that question. If you want to learn a language and if you want to go to a language school, then you need to know the process. Of course, it involves a lot of money, so you need to weigh your options. Then if you're going to learn it on your own, let's say you have a tutor here in Hungary and you want to learn, if you want to learn the language by yourself or online or something, then I would say do it here, but then do it whilst you're doing your master's degree. I mean, it's kind of sort of tight, but it's something that you have to do. Two things are involved. You're going to be learning the language, you're going to be getting another degree, also you're going to be buying time. So by the time you finish your masters, you probably have already done maybe not done the exam, but you'd have gone far, because masters is like 3 semesters, so you can easily learn, you can space it out and then learn your language within those 3 semesters. And then once you're done, you can take the exams, or you can even take the exams whilst you're doing the masters. And when you're done, you know that, okay, this is where I'm going. I can get my language certificate, and then you can start applying for jobs in Germany. And then with that, you still have a little bit of time to move. You know, like, you need to just gauge everything. Now for me, I felt like I'm torn between wanting to continue clinical medicine or going the public health route. So for me, I feel like whichever opportunity comes to me, I'm going to grab it. But I'm grateful that I did public health, because I'm more open, like I have more opportunities. I'm open to more opportunities than just clinical medicine, because now I can still be in the health sector, but not a practicing doctor, which I feel like, to be quite honest, I want to make money. I just would love to practice to feel fulfilled, not forever, of course. Aside that, to be quite honest, I'm not really sure on going to clinical medicine. So that's why I'm grateful that I did public health, because that would push me along the other side of healthcare. I believe you're still in medical school. You have to plan between now, before you graduate. Is it enough time? For instance, in the UK, you need to do your practice. I don't know, there's a whole process for doing residency in the UK. But one thing I'm sure of is that you need to write your PLAB. And I think for PLAB, you can only write it after you've graduated. So you need to plan how you're going to go about it. You can also be doing your public health degree whilst you're writing your PLAB exams. It's just that you need to be very, 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 very disciplined. It's hard, but these are the things that you have to do. Like, this is your next phase of life. So these are the decisions that you have to make, like critical life decisions that you have to make to be able to move forward. If not, you're just going to feel stuck. And don't be hard on yourself if you feel that way, because I too, trust me, I'm still feeling that way. I still feel like I don't know where my next move is. I don't know, like, it's stressful. It's very stressful. So trust me, don't be so hard on yourself, because there are a lot of us that are still trying to figure it out. My advice, like I've already told you, is you need to ask yourself these questions to understand where you'd like to understand yourself, to make you understand yourself more. Like, I think if you watch my previous video, I told you guys that you need to understand yourself, because that's the only thing that is going to guide you in making any decision in life, especially with social media and everything. You tend to start comparing yourself. That's the thief of joy and happiness, when you start comparing yourself. But when you feel like somebody else has it all together, nobody has it together. Everybody's still figuring out life. So don't be fooled by social media. Don't be fooled by like somebody else's success. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a big deal. Like, maybe graduating medical school is not a big deal. That's a phase of your life that you have to celebrate. So you have to celebrate each phase as it comes. So once you finish, you celebrate, you dance, you rejoice, you party. The next phase is, do you want to do public health or not? Do you want to do masters? And then you go through that whole process. And then when eventually you complete that phase of your life, you celebrate again. So life is in phases, and you just need to take it each day as it comes. So don't be so hard on yourself. Don't feel depressed. I mean, trust me, what I'm saying might not be so useful, because it's easier said than done. But I'm telling you that we are a lot of people in this clan, in this group. We are too many. They might not vocalize it, they might not say it out, but trust me, just concentrate on your own journey and concentrate on yourself, because your strong points or your strengths might be my weaknesses. So it would be very wrong for me to compare myself to you. Say for instance, you are able to learn a language whilst doing your public health degree or your master's degree. I can't do that. I don't know how to mix two things at the same time. One part will be lacking for sure. It's either I will not be serious in the language part, or I won't be serious in school. One of it. And I'm a human being. I will burn out, because public health is a bit demanding. There are things that need your time. At the same time, learning the language needs constant practice. So you have to keep practicing every day. I'm just trying to be modest here. You might not even open the book the days you don't have assignments in your language exams. So that's why I'm saying that you need to understand yourself. So you need to decide for yourself if you're able to do that. If you can do it, then go ahead. I believe that that's a very great idea. If it's going to take a year, you might as well just get that degree, in my opinion. If there's any other part that I have not touched on, you asked about the pros and cons. The pro for studying public health is that I'm just open to more opportunities. I can work in a different sector that is not specifically the hospital, you get, just because of my public health degree. And then because I have the medical background, like, you are bound to have more opportunities. It just depends on the place or the country, because I know that if I was in Nigeria, for instance, I might get more opportunities. Or if I was, I don't know, in other countries, maybe Canada, maybe the US, maybe UK, I might get more opportunities just because of the degree and background I have. But because we're in Hungary, things are a little bit tight here, to be quite honest. But I am so happy that I did the public health master's degree, especially if I don't intend on practicing forever. This is definitely going to come in handy. And even if you're going to practice in clinical medicine, maybe just your public health degree might give you an extra edge for promotion. I don't know, maybe head of department, maybe administrative role, just something. You can be a doctor and you can be something else in that same hospital or clinical setting. So I feel like it's a pro for me. I don't know, I think it's a pro to get a master's degree if you can and if you have the funds. But if you don't, it's still no big deal. There's always time. You can always do it online too. I think there are some schools or universities that offer public health online, so you can always do it online as well whilst you're probably working or doing your residency. So it all depends on you. I don't think there's any disadvantage of doing your public health. I just feel like you just need to plan. Everything is just planning and making the right decisions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's all I would say. Even when you start your public health degree or or your master's degree, whichever one you want to do, still ask how to go about it, because the thing is that in life everything has techniques and strategies. You just need to find your way around it. But I also feel like the pro in public health was meeting new people. I met new people from other countries. I mean, people that were not people that did not study medicine with me, you understand? So I kind of met more people, I established more connections. Just don't know what the future holds, to be honest, because they might get something outside and then they might be your plug. So I just feel like public health also exposes you to different people, and especially because a lot of people are from different countries, from different backgrounds, and most of them must have worked before even coming to do this masters in public health. So a lot of them might even have like work experience, whereas we don't have work experience, like I mean professional work experience where you're getting paid, you know, in different sectors. So most of them have that experience, or some of them have that experience, and they can fill you in and give you tips and tricks on how to go about and navigate the, you know, corporate world. So meeting people in your masters is kind of more, I feel like that's where I grew up more, because I interacted with different people and we had productive conversations, you know, like people take a lot of things here. There are just different things and different ideas that will never pop in your head, but just because somebody else has gone through that and has gone through the corporate world already, they already have a focus on why they are doing public health. They already have you get my drift. I don't know the word to use, but they kind of already know what they want to get out of public health. Whereas some people just go and do it because, well, let's just buy time. Some people just do it because it's the next thing to do after getting the medical degree. It's not just about going to do the master's degree. It's also about making good use of it. It will come in handy. So you need to try to explore the different options that public health can give you. Also, if you eventually do your master's degree, try and take it serious. That's what I would say, because it can also help you to figure out how you want to give back to your country. If you want to open an NGO in future, or a foundation, if you want to start a foundation, if you want to start something that can be beneficial to your community, I feel like public health is going to guide you to do that. So don't take it for granted if eventually you do it. If you don't do it, it's still okay. It just depends on what you want for yourself. So I think I've been able to, I hope and I think I've been able to answer your questions. And if you have more questions, please don't forget to hit me up on Instagram or leave it in the comment section. I reply all my comments. Thank you guys for watching this video, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button once again, like this video and share it to your friends and your loved ones, and I will see you in my next one.